Yo, what it do, YouTube? It's your boy Culture Shock. We're back with another video. Today we are doing the prediction for the week's upcoming event. It's going to be the Dolphins versus the Colts. It's going to be a very interesting matchup, I might add, but I do have a special guest with me. He can go ahead and introduce himself. His name is Destin.
You can find me on Twitter at Destin_Adams14, or you can find me at The Blue Stable, anywhere, articles, podcasts, anything like that. The Blue Stable, the official Colts podcast of Fansided.
All right, that's where you can find him. Today, I brought him on the show. We're going to talk the Colts versus the Dolphins. It's going to be a good, interesting game. One of the factors is that former quarterback from the Indianapolis Colts, Jacoby Brissett, is over there. He is taking over the helm as starting quarterback. You know, they got a nice little offense, pretty young, pretty solid core, and they got speed over there. It's one of those things that I'm going to be looking forward to watching. But another thing we're going to look forward to is looking at the Colts offenses. Can they figure it out going up against this Miami defense? What are some of the things the Colts need to do on offense to try to get the chains going, man? What do they have to do?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like Carson Wentz is going to be rehabbing while playing. I'm not always a fan of that approach, but that basically is what they've announced. The offensive line, even if it's not healthy, has to come together to an extent if they're going to make some noise as an offense. I feel like with that offensive line as it is, we're going to struggle at times no matter what. And I think it's going to come down to, if that's the case, you're going to have to run the ball. Last week we saw Frank Reich kind of abandoned it a little too early, if you ask me, whether it was overcorrecting to Quentin Nelson going out or if it was just because the Titans secondary isn't good. And I'm willing to say that even after we lost, it's just not good. We're going to have to run the ball at a consistent rate against that Dolphins defense if we're going to want to cause some havoc.
Yeah, I agree. Running the football definitely has to be the objective, even though everybody says run the football is the slogan for Indianapolis, but we really did that last week. Moving on from Marlon Mack, we're going to have Hines. Pretty sure he's going to be more used this week. I hope he does, because he probably was one of those solid reasons why the Colts almost had a chance to come back and winning last week against the Titans. He's so athletic, man. And I think going up against a team like the Dolphins, I think he could be really good going up against them. The passing game, I'm pretty sure nobody's going to be sold on that. So running the football has to be the thing for the Colts. Another thing is who's going to be on the offensive line. That's another question. Is Big Q playing? If not, I think Chris Reed would still be a solid substitution. I think he did pretty decent when Big Q went out. We wound up scoring it immediately after that. I was shocked, but I think he did a pretty solid job. But the offensive line is definitely going to be a question. Moving on, we're going to talk about the defense. The Colts defense did give up 3 turnovers last week, but we didn't amount to doing anything after that. But the Colts defense going up against the Miami's offense. We all know one of the struggles for the Colts on defense is stopping mobile quarterbacks. Play action rollout king himself, Jacoby Brissett, is playing for the Dolphins. Let me know, what does the Colts have to do on defense to stop Miami, man?
I mean, I think it's going to be helpful that a lot of the defensive starters in this room know Jacoby. They practiced against Jacoby last year. Jacoby was probably the scout team quarterback at times even. I think they've seen a lot of Jacoby. I think that's going to go into their favor. I like to call Jacoby 4th and short Brissett. So we can't allow him to get into those 4th and shorts where he can body himself over that line. I mean, we saw it in Indy. You got to make Jacoby Brissett uncomfortable in the pocket. You got to make him fire when he's not ready. Because when you make him make decisions under pressure, that's when we saw a lot of the bad Jacoby. I feel like we always had a good Jacoby on his right shoulder, a bad Jacoby on his left. We got to force a lot of the bad Jacoby. And I think they know how. I think they can do it. I feel more comfortable about this game than I felt about any of the last 3. That's not saying much as we're 0-3. So,
yeah, I agree. This is the first time the Colts has been 0-3 since 2011. Can they pull off the epic comeback and still make the wild card? I think they can. Like I said, the schedule gets easier. Per PFF, they said this is one of the easiest schedules in the NFL. I am air quoting it because I don't believe that, because we are not healthy. So I still think it's a tough schedule. But I think we can pull this game off against the Dolphins. You had a score prediction for me?
Oh, it's really early, not knowing who's going to play or not. That always sucks. But I mean, I'll go ahead and I'll say the Colts end up winning this one 27-17, 10-point win. That's the kind of win they need to pull off after being 0-3.
Yeah. One of the main things in order to get this win, we got to stay disciplined. No 30-yard flags. No matter how many flags they get due to home field advantage or anything, we just got to stay composed. That's one of the things, man. And before we wrap this up, like, who do you think for the offensive and defensive side, who do you think are going to be key factors in this game? You can give me two each if you want.
I mean, like I said earlier, we're gonna need to run the ball. Jonathan Taylor ran the ball 10 times last week. That's just unacceptable. He's gonna have to get the rock. I want to see him after a 10 carry game. I want to see him get 18 to 22 in that realm this week. I really want to feed him, especially if Wentz is not at 100%, which he won't be. Give Taylor the ball. Let him make those plays. The other big one is gonna be whoever is playing at tackle if Braden Smith can't play. I mean, they're going to focus on him. They're going to focus on whoever it is as much as we are. So whoever that is, if Braden Smith can't play, they're going to have their best game. I don't want to call it an A game because I'm not sure if that exists right now with some of these backup tackles we have in the game. But I want to get this C+B effort out of those guys. Don't be a problem. That's the big thing. I don't need you to be a stud. I just don't want to have to say your name over 12 times in a game. That's all I want. I don't think that's asking too much, Marcus. And then defensive side of the ball, Xavier Rhodes, I mean, he's been injured. Last week was his season debut, and it was not good. Wasn't pretty. Looked a little slow, was getting dusted a few times. His pass interference reminded me of a rookie corner. Just was a bonehead kind of move. He needs to bounce back. He needs to be that true number one corner, although I think Rocky Sin has been playing pretty well. And then for my second one for the defense, I'm not even going to say a name. I'm just going to say a group. I mean, the edge group needs to step up. The defense in this front office took a swing. They said they were going to let the young guys play. They're going to let the young guys be the core this year. They let Houston walk. Autry's gone. Kwity Paye's a rookie, and it's hard for rookie edge rushers to make huge impacts, but I feel like he's winning a lot of reps already. The edge rushers need to start making names for themselves, and I want to hear their names all game. I don't care if the commentators are saying their names incorrectly. I want to hear their names on Sunday. I want to cause havoc. I want to, like I said earlier, make Jacoby Brissett feel uncomfortable.
Hey, man, you said a mouthful, but you do make a good point here. A guy that I want to, you said miscorrect or not, but I think a guy has been making themselves a name, and I think Sunday could be his game. Al-Qadim Muhammad. A lot of people were like, at the beginning of the year was like, why is this guy starting? Da 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 da. But he's been actually one of the most solid pieces on this Colts defense. He exploded last week against the Titans. The week before, he popped off the screen. I think he can have a good game and pretty much put pressure on Jacoby Brissett. We've seen him sack Lamar Jackson. I think he can do a good job against Jacoby, and I think he's going to be that guy. I would love to have DeForest Buckner go wreak havoc, but Al-Qadim Muhammad's been having a solid year so far. Underrated for the year. I think he's like last week he was used 60% of the game, or maybe that was the week before. But I think he's going to get a lot of reps next week, and I think he's going to be that guy for the Colts. I think he is. I mean, I think he's watching Colts Twitter. I think everyone was shocked that he started, and I think he's going to, I think he's going to take the season by storm. Just my honest opinion, man.
Hey, I like Al-Qadim Muhammad. You're not going to hear too much negative out of me. I thought he was the best, if not one of the best, defensive linemen on the field consistently last week. Just made a lot of big plays.
Yeah, I agree. You did vouch for Al-Qadim Muhammad. You did say, well, he did have a person to trade camp, but you have to follow him on Twitter to see that. Definitely link will be in the bio. Also follow his podcast. He's going to make a preview about this game as well. So feel free to check that out. The link's already in the bio. If you guys haven't checked, please check the description. It's been there since I don't know how long, but you guys got to check it out. But once again, Destin Adams, thank you for checking us out. Thanks for joining the show. Appreciate you guys for all you do. This is it. This is a wrap. Let us know in the comment section, who do you got winning, the Colts or the Dolphins? This is Marcus. And until next time, you've been Culture Shock.